But we're going to go and do the Daytona. So it's still going to be the 1 lap qualifying, because at the restrictor plates that's what they do. No group qualifying after they had a few attempts at that, and everybody just decided they wanted to wreck each other in qualifying. So let's go out and qualify on our number 99. I will make an early prediction that I'm going to start dead last. If you've watched other YouTubers play NASCAR Heat Evolution, I guarantee you they're also going to start dead last at these restrictor plate tracks, especially at first in this car. You're not going to get up to speed compared to the other guys. You have to have the draft in order to do well. So, my early prediction, we're going to qualify 40th. But by how much are we going to be behind the pack, we're going to find out here. Normally you would run the high line, but we've already pretty much reached our maximum speed here, which is pretty sad. We got 2 qualifying laps here. So I'm just going to stick it to the bottom here. You really don't want to go below the bottom in these turns, because that'll really slow your car down, so I'm going to be really careful not to do that. Front stretch, you shouldn't have to do any steering, just go straight. I'm going to turn just a little bit, get us lined up back for the bottom line. As you can see, we're not really going farther than 182 on the speedometer there, so we're obviously not going to be up to speed with the rest of these guys. So we're coming around here to complete lap 1. We'll see how fast it is. 51 seconds. That's pretty poor. As you can see, my record is 46 seconds. I believe that's in the draft though, so don't compare it to that number. But I'm pretty sure 51 seconds is not going to come anywhere near the rest of the pack. But we'll try one more time. Finish this lap. In this game, they do not have the dual races, unfortunately. So where we finish qualifying is where we're going to start the race. Unlike in real life where they have those dual qualifying races, which I think is really sad that they don't have it in this game. That, in addition to the All-Star race, they don't have in this game either. I found that really disappointing, and I hope they add that into the next edition. Yep, 40th. We are only about 3 tenths slower than the rest of the field, so that's, well, slower than the 39th place car, so that's better than I expected. We're going to start the race here in last place.
This is Rick Allen coming to you live from Daytona International Speedway for the great American race, the Daytona 500. The off-season's over, preseason testing is complete, and we're ready to start the season.
Alright, thank you Rick Allen for the little intro. He'll do that for all the races. Now I'll be sure to let you guys listen to that. As you can see, the row in front of us is already switching lanes. So I'm just going to go straight, which is going to bring us above Brian Scott, but they're not going to black flag us for that. Alright, we got 26 laps here, so this will be a little longer video. I apologize for that. Let's see, will we have to pit? Yes. Our estimated fuel, as you can see in the top left, is only 14 laps. So we will have to make a pit stop, which, as you guys know, on restrictor plates might cause a few issues. But we're already splitting it 3 wide here. I want to get down to the bottom. I'm going to follow Blaney down in the bottom. Restrictor plate racing in this game is not the best. One thing that Technics did right was the restrictor plate racing. They had amazing restrictor plate simulation. That's about the only thing that Technics did right in the previous games. In this game, you'll definitely see the pack get spread out a lot more than they would in real life. So you really gotta take advantage of these restarts when everybody's close together. Otherwise, you're not gonna finish where you want. Drafting also isn't the best in this simulation. If you get up there and really bump draft, you're gonna stall out more than anything. So I'm gonna try to get under Blaney here and follow Landon Castle in the 34. Well, that's not Landon Castle. That's Chris Buescher. My bad. Chris Buescher in the 34. He goes up with Blaney. I'm gonna try to get underneath him. Oh, he comes down on me, but he saves it. We're going under Michael Annette here. Gonna stick it to the yellow line and get underneath these two. I believe that's Paul Menard in front of us. Buescher kind of shoved us down onto the apron there, but we recovered. Gonna follow Paul Menard here. Get under Danica Patrick. As we do right there. I'm going to try to go above Menard here. See if we can get a draft from ahead of us here. Unfortunately, we don't really have much help. I just realized I haven't had my mirror on, which is probably a bad thing at a restrictor plate track, not to have your mirror on. Oh, just hit the wall there. So we're going to follow in behind Menard. Not too much harm with that wall hit. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see it in this race, but another issue with this game is the caution detection. They really seem to struggle with detecting when they should throw the caution. They're very conservative when they should throw the caution. In real life NASCAR, they'll throw a caution for pretty much anything, but in this game, you really gotta convince them that the caution deserves to be out. If you spin out by yourself, more times than not, they're not going to throw the caution. So you really got, if you want the caution to come out, you really got to make sure you wreck a bunch of people. Alright, so we're going under Chase Elliott here. Uncharacteristically in 26, we're going to follow David Reagan. Oh, we kind of went below the yellow line there. But like I said earlier, the black flags aren't really realistic in this game. So we're not going to get penalized for that. Going underneath David Reagan here. We'll follow Regan Smith. Man, the back of the field is just full of cars that are no longer in these rides. That's pretty sad. I can't really... Is that Ricky Stenhouse up ahead of us? But we're going to go underneath Smith and follow Casey Kang. We're actually going to try to get under Kang here going into the corner. Got into him a little bit, so he's going to fall right in front of us. Alright, we're going to go underneath him. He really is pushing us below the yellow line here. I remember, that must have been 5 or 6 years ago at Talladega when Regan Smith got penalized for going below the yellow line on a last lap pass with Tony Stewart, I believe it was. When realistically, he really didn't have much of a choice. If he was going to stay above the yellow line, he was going to wreck Tony Stewart. But fortunately, NASCAR didn't see it that way. And they penalized Regan Smith, who should have won the race. So tough luck for him. Yeah, that must have been 5 or 6 years ago. I believe he was still in the 01 car. Oh gosh, I don't even know what team that was. That was back in the day. That might have been old DEI car. I'm not sure. But we're underneath Stenhouse here, and we're going to follow Allmendinger. As you can see, the pack is pretty much spread out right now, which is completely unrealistic. But yet we're still keeping up with each other. If the pack were to spread out this much, you probably would be falling way behind the lead pack, but we're not. We're not really. We're going to get underneath Allmendinger here, and we're going to try to follow Tony Stewart up ahead. I'm a little too far away from Tony Stewart to be able to get his draft right now, but hopefully Allmendinger will slide right behind me, which he doesn't. But I think I finally got Tony Stewart's draft here. What lap are we on? We're on lap 7. And we have about 8 laps to go on fuel. So I'm probably going to stretch it all the way to the end on fuel just in case there's a timely caution. Normally I would pit just about at halfway or a little before. I seem to have terrible luck with tire wear in this game, so I usually have to pit a little bit before I want to. But we'll definitely try to go as far as we can here at Daytona because tire wear is not an issue. As you can see, really not having an issue except for that right front tire at 77%. So I might do right side tires, but the left sides are perfectly fine. So don't think I'll need to change those on this stop. Tire wear doesn't really impact the racing too much at these restrictor plate tracks. So we're trying to get underneath Stewart here, but we don't really have any drafting help from anyone else. So as soon as we pull out from him, we stall out and we can't really pass him. So I'm just going to follow Stewart here. Maybe we can catch up to that guy in front of us. I'm not quite sure who that is. Actually, I can check. That's Ryan Newman. I was glad to see Newman winning a race this year. Good for him. It's well deserved, even though he didn't really earn it. He just got lucky on the pit strategy. Well, I shouldn't say he didn't earn it. His crew chief made a good call, and they deserved to win that race because of it. But he didn't really have a fast car, but he just managed to stay ahead of everybody. He had enough cars who stayed out on that last pit stop with him that they kind of blockaded the rest of the field that was on fresh tires. So I'm glad to see him and Richard Childress racing getting a win. They deserved it for a while. I think Austin Dillon's going to be pretty close to a win this year as well. Oh, I ran up the track there and I got Jamie McMurray underneath me. But I think Austin Dillon's going to break through at some point in the near future. He's not doing as well this year as he was last year. As I go high, we let McMurray by, and now Ryan Blaney, another guy who's probably going to break through with a win this year. He's actually been racing really good this year. I've been pleasantly surprised with Ryan Blaney's and the Wood brothers. I really felt bad for him this weekend at Kansas. I think he should have won that race, but he just didn't have the car in the late going, and Truex did. So at the beginning of the year, I was really wondering. We had so many different winners to start out the season that we might reach the 16 winner threshold, which would make the chase standings really interesting. If you have more than 16 winners, then one of the winners isn't going to make the chase. So I really thought at the beginning of the year we were going to reach that threshold, but we've definitely gotten a few more repeat winners in the last couple weeks. So, alright, so they're all pitting. I still have 5 laps on my fuel, so I'm going to keep going here. I usually try to pit at halfway, so I'm going to go one more lap here. Hope that there's a caution. So we're second right now. Maybe I can stay out and lead a lap, but Matt Kenseth is 4 seconds ahead of me right now. And all we got is Regan Smith right behind us. So he might help us out a little bit, but not much. And it looks like he might be pitting. You can tell when they're about to pit, they hug the yellow line, or sometimes even go below it on the backstretch. That's usually a pretty good sign that they're going to pit. So if they come in if Kendall comes in, looks like he is, I'm going to stay out one more lap and lead a lap and get that bonus point. I don't have much high hopes for the standings this year, but it would be a pleasant surprise if I do well. Alright, another unrealistic thing. They just came out on track right in front of the leader instead of staying below the yellow line, and I just made contact with Ryan Ellis because they just came out and they were trying to pass each other on the racetrack, which is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stay below the yellow line until the backstretch. So that really didn't help us too much. So we're going to come in this time. We are going to do 2 tires, right side tires only. Fill her up with fuel. Not going to make any adjustments, as that really doesn't help us too much in restricted plate races. We're going to get slowed down here to 55. There we are. Right side tires, no repair. We don't have any damage to repair. Yeah, I'm not going to make any other adjustments.
Okay, halfway this time.
As you heard the spotter, halfway. I pitted right at halfway, which would typically be my strategy. Let's see how our pit crew does. Estimated 10.1 seconds, which for a two-tire pit stop is not the greatest, but that's perfectly fine with me. They give you an estimated time and an actual time, but realistically, they pretty much all pit stops are going to be exactly the same as the estimated time. So, we're 15th and losing ground here. I'm going to try to obey the rules of merging on the track here and not go up in front of these guys, even though it's probably going to hurt me in the long run. But we're in 21st, which is exactly where we were before the cycle of pit stops began. We had Tony Stewart right in front of us. He's right behind us. But it looks like Regan Smith got around us. He's in 19th, So now we're out by ourselves, so we're just going to have to hope that we either catch up to somebody or somebody catches up with us so we can get a little drafting help. But it looks like we're going to just blow by Jamie McMurray right now. This might be an example, I hope not, but it might be an example of what's called rubber banding, where the game, with the AI that the game has, if you fall below a certain position that they think you probably don't deserve to be in, they're going to slow the cars down so you can catch up. So like if you fall a lap down from the field because of some sort of mishap, they're going to slow the other cars down so you can catch up and actually race with them. Vice versa, if you are ahead of the position that they think you should be in, they'll probably speed the other cars up, which I don't like very much. I wish there was a way to turn that off, but there's not in career mode. There is a way to turn that off in regular race mode, but in career mode, that's unfortunately not changeable. So, but as you can see, the cars are passing us again, so they must have decided that we're in the position we need to be in, which is 18th, which for our very first race is an excellent position to be in. We're going to pass Almirola here, slide up in front of him. I apologize for this longer episode. Actually, I might cut this episode up into two, but probably not. We made contact with McMurray there, but it didn't seem to hurt us at all. 10 laps to go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be cutting this video into two. So I apologize for saying that we were going to get this Daytona 500 in on the first video. But I'll just do those first two, I would call them qualifying races in the first video. And then this will be in the second video, the qualifying for this endless race. So I apologize for any confusion that might lead to. But we're battling with Regan Smith here for 18th and 19th, which is pretty remarkable. So good for Regan Smith, I guess. I never thought of Regan Smith as a really exceptional driver. He's always been pretty mediocre. I was really surprised when he won his first and only race at Darlington in the Southern 500. That was really impressive when he was driving for Furniture Row Motorsports. Or Furniture Row Racing, sorry. But that was before they became an affiliate of Joe Gibbs Racing. So that was in the time when they were struggling. So that was really remarkable for him. But we're just kind of stuck in this position right now, fighting with Regan Smith. We got Jamie McMurray right behind us. And as you can see, there's absolutely no pack racing. The pack is long gone. I can look at the leaderboard and see that the leader is 23 seconds ahead of us right now. So, not the most realistic restrictor plate racing. I hope that's something they work on for the next game. This game was a really good first attempt for Duesenberry Martin Racing. But I think there's definitely a lot to improve on. One of the reasons I enjoyed NASCAR 06 so much is it has, I wouldn't say like a story mode to it, but it definitely feels like you can kind of control your own destiny and work your way up from the lower series into the Cup Series. So I really hope that's something that they would consider putting in these games. That's something that EA Sports did really well, is have that full career mode instead of just starting us out in the Cup Series like this game does and your Technics games did, and I know some of the older games did as well. So I really hope that's something they consider adding. If not, at the very least, adding the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series would be a great improvement. Be a chance to get more drivers involved, maybe get some more sponsorship money by having their sponsor in the game. But we're kind of stuck in this 4-car group here with Almirola, McMurray, and Regan Smith. But this is probably, barring a late race caution, this is probably where we're going to stay. But for our first race, this is very good. We got 6 laps to go. We're not going to pull off a miracle in this one. We're not going to pull a Trevor Bayne, unfortunately. But for this very low-funded team with one sponsor, this is a very good start. As you can see up ahead, they're kind of hugging the yellow line like they're going to pit. Like I described earlier. If that's the case, then maybe we will pull Trevor Bayne here. If they have to make 3 pit stops, they are pitting. Oh, but the caution came out. I would have had this race won if that caution didn't come out. Done. As you can see, we have 7 laps remaining on fuel. They have us a lap down for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. Our position keeps changing. I'm not going to pit because I don't need to. So I'm interested to see where this puts us. We're in 9th, but we're a lap down. This is something that they need to fix. When the caution comes out while they're pitting, usually the running order just gets completely scrambled. And a bunch of people get caught a lap down that shouldn't be a lap down. You saw I didn't go a lap down. I was 23 seconds behind the leader, but I did not go a lap down. But somehow I'm a lap down. I didn't pit, so I didn't even get a wave around or a lucky dog or anything. So that's something that they need to fix. But we're going to be stuck in 11th place here, unfortunately, because we're a lap behind all these guys. Carl Edwards and Matt Kendrick are the 2 drivers who are on my lap closest to us right now, so if we can stay ahead of them, this is still an improvement from what I was saying about 30 seconds ago where we were stuck in 18th. But here comes Carl Edwards. This is 4th position, unlike all those other cars I was battling. But our car just isn't fast enough, unfortunately, to keep up with these guys. We had about an 18th place car, and that's where we were. So that's unfortunate, but Harvick got underneath me there, and I had to check up. And now we're beating and banging, and we're losing some more spots, and now we're back to 17th. Great. And now 18th, 19th, 20th. 22nd. Well, I should learn not to speak too soon with this game, because especially with restrictor plate racing, you can go from hero to zero and vice versa very quickly. So now we're in 26th. And we're going to finish 27th. So, unfortunately, that didn't go as well as I wanted. We got shuffled with some stupid pit strategy, which I don't understand. Maybe you guys can explain it to me on the comments, but it was definitely didn't deserve to finish that low. We were 18th place, and then they had to come in for another pit stop, which made no sense, but the caution came out right as they were doing so. But I stayed out. I somehow got a lap down, which didn't happen. I stayed out. I didn't get a wave around. And so I was a lap down with a whole bunch of cars. There were 9 cars on the lead lap, I think, in the end. So that was just really unfortunate. And then I screwed up myself and fell from 11th to 27th. That was my fault. I went up the track in that one corner and everybody just started passing me. So yep, we're 27th, which was not where I wanted to finish, unfortunately. So it looks like the top 10 were on the lead lap. So that's pretty unfortunate, and I hope that's something that the developers of the game will take a look at, because that just didn't make any sense. Joey Logano wins the 2016 Daytona 500. Alright, let's move back to the menu, see if there's anything. Oh, we got our winnings. We won $5,000 from the race, and we have our $5,000 primary sponsorship. So we are up $10,000, which is good. And the point standings, since this is the only race we've done, we're in 27th, technically tied for 26th, because remember, we did lead that lap, so we got the bonus point for that. So good deal there. So let's go back to the menu here, see if there's any new information, and then we'll end the second part of the video. There we are in 27th. The next race is at Atlanta. Doesn't look like we have any new information. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more content from ATF Gaming, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. So again, I appreciate all of you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.